What up, guys? It's your boy Matt from RamseyVoice.com, and I cannot wait to talk. I've been waiting to make this video for so long, and I have no idea why, because it's super important. We're going to talk about learning to sing without strain, and what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you my absolute best vocal exercises to get rid of strain for good. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Now, you're gonna get three huge things out of our lesson today. Number one, you're gonna learn exactly what vocal strain is and how to avoid it. Number two, you're gonna look at the very surprising places where vocal strain tends to hide, and I'm sure that they're gonna surprise you. And three, I'm gonna give you 10, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exercises of my best exercises to help you eliminate strain in your voice today. Now, before we jump in, you know what you gotta do. You gotta smash that like button, gotta comment with the next video that you wanna see me do, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications for this channel. And if you wanna eliminate strain for good and get all these exercises plus a ton more, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. Click the link to get on the wait list. So, vocal strain is really difficult to get rid of. And why is that? Well, because as singers and as students of singing, we're always trying to get the most out of our singing voice. And these days, with fantastic singers like Sam Smith, Adele, John Legend, Freddie Mercury, we're always looking to push the limits of what is possible with our singing voice. And anytime that you're pushing your voice to do something that it doesn't like or doesn't come naturally to it, you get some vocal strain as a result. That's why anytime that you're trying to expand your vocal range, at first, your high notes and your lowest notes are probably going to be a little bit strainy at first. So, vocal strain is not necessarily like this terrible thing that's just like going to absolutely wreck or ruin your voice. Sometimes it's a sign that you're doing the things that you need to be doing, that you are stretching your voice. However, it is absolutely best to get rid of it as soon as possible, as often as possible. Why? Because, yeah, you can sing up to a high A now, but it's pretty strainy and it sounds pretty bad. However, if you were to eliminate that vocal strain, then all of a sudden you would have this beautiful voice that you can do. So just understand that when you're first starting to expand your vocal range, you can't expect all of your top notes and your lowest notes to sound amazing at first. That comes with more time. But these exercises will help you get there. Now, when we were first starting off, I promised you that I was going to tell you exactly what vocal strain is. And here's my definition. Vocal strain is any time the muscles outside of the vocal cords, outside of the voice box, get involved with your singing. You can think of like if you've ever been on a project with other people and it's like everybody has their assigned role, everybody has their part that they need to play in doing this presentation. And it's like one guy's just slacking off. Well, what's going to happen? Everybody else is going to jump in and try to help that guy finish their work so that everybody can do the presentation. That way, nobody gets punished. Well, the vocal cords work in kind of the same way. If things are feeling a little bit unstable in my voice and my vocal cords are not able to like hit the note that I'm asking them to hit, then I get vocal strain. I get all these extra muscles in my voice outside of my vocal cords that get involved to help me make it. And that's just because, you know, it wants you to hit the note. So if I'm trying to sing a but I just can't get into it, I might start tensing up these muscles in order to just squeeze my vocal cords together in order to make the sound. So that is what vocal strain is. Anytime that you're using the muscles outside of your vocal cords. Now, I do want to point out that singing without strain is an ideal. It is an absolute, in a perfect world, we would all sing without strain. However, that's not necessarily the truth of the matter, because anytime that you are using a muscle, there is going to be some tension that's involved in using that muscle. However, there's a difference between using a little bit of tension or the minimum required amount of tension and just like moving everything in my entire body in order to like lift a weight, or tensing up every muscle in my throat and in my neck in order to hit a note. So keep an eye out for that, and these exercises are going to help you. Now, I'm going to give you 10 fantastic exercises to eliminate vocal tension. Now, the first place that I want to start off with is probably one of the easiest, and that's because vocal tension often hangs out outside of the voice itself, outside of the vocal cords. For instance, like if I'm singing and I'm, slouching or if I'm pulling things too far back, that's a very, very easy way to add tension to my voice. And even though it seems like, oh yeah, well, you're just, arching your back or something like that, instead, actually, that is going to impact the way that my voice sounds. So the first place that I want you to get started in eliminating strain in your singing is to keep a tall posture. The way that I want you to get started off with the tall posture is making sure that your feet are about the same width as your hips. And if you do that, you'll notice that your hips, your feet, and your shoulders are all in one line, and keep your chest comfortably lifted. Not like too far back, definitely not slouching. I probably see a lot more slouching than I see this pulled back, but you do want to keep this comfortably tall. And the dancers and stuff that I teach, like, they get this intuitively. It's like they're like actually keeping things super, super tall. So if at first you feel like you're slouching a lot, or your feet are too far apart, they're too close, all of these things are going to impact the other muscle areas in your body, and that in turn is going to impact your singing voice. I'm also going to turn to my side so that you can see the way that this is supposed to look. My feet are shoulder width apart. They're at my same width of my hips and of my shoulders. And at the same time, my chest is comfortably lifted, and I'm keeping my gaze forward. Oftentimes, people will lift their neck back, or they'll push it forward in order to sing a note. However, you want to keep this gaze totally forward so that it doesn't matter whether you're singing an or an everything's right ahead of you. Now that you're standing with the tall posture, I want to show you another big source of tension, and that is actually breathing in the wrong place. Earlier, I was mentioning how some people would lift their shoulders when they sing. Instead, we actually want to make sure that as we're breathing in, it's just our stomach that it's expanding. So it's not even necessarily like our back or our shoulders or anything's coming down or we're raising our chest. Instead, we just want to make sure that the stomach is coming out. And this is called singing from the diaphragm. And what this is going to look like is when I inhale, my stomach expands, and as I exhale, my stomach contracts. That's all there is to it. Notice that I didn't raise my shoulders. And what's going to happen there is if I raise my shoulders, that's going to add some more tension to my voice. Just sounds different from you can just hear that there's a lot less of that kind of strainy, pinchy kind of sound in there. So if that's a problem for you, that is a super easy way to fix it. So I want to give you a fantastic exercise that will really, really start to relax some of the tension in your voice. So if you see that your shoulders are fine, you're breathing from the right place, your posture is good, but you're still singing like really, really tense, then this is a great exercise for you. It's just called the octave and a half lip trill. So what we're going to do is we're going to just let our lips flop together like as we sing in an octave and a half scale. And in case you haven't heard the octave and a half scale, it's just going to be like this. Good. And you can break that down into triplets if it makes more sense to you, like a triplet, 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 done. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to flop our lips together as we sing that scale. And again, this is going to help you prevent from to your top notes. Instead, you're just going to up to your top notes. So let's try that with guys down here. No tension, no strain. I'm just allowing it up there. Notice that on none of them did I and try to push with my voice. Instead, I just allowed them to. Ladies, let's do the same thing starting right here. I'm just allowing it. Practice that a little bit every day, and you'll be amazed at how the tension just goes right out of your voice. Now, before we jump into the exercises, I want to tell you the most common places that you're going to find tension in your singing voice. And it isn't always inside of the vocal cords themselves. Actually, oftentimes you'll find that tension impacts outside of the voice box, outside of the larynx. But a couple of the most common places, starting from in going towards out, is going to be your tongue. Now, your tongue itself, oftentimes you'll reach for notes by actually reaching your tongue forward or pulling it too far back. So ah versus an oh. Either way, you're adding a little bit of tension because rather than saying ah, where my tongue is relaxed, just like I'm saying awesome, instead I'm keeping my tongue too far forward or keeping it too far back. One easy way that you can kind of feel for this tension is just place your thumb underneath your chin and swallow. Now you'll notice, and you could probably even see it, like I have this like little divot that happens when I swallow. There it is right there. And what that is that's kind of the root of the tongue. It's called the digastric muscle. And that is pushing down on my finger. Now, as you're singing, you want to make sure that at no point is your tongue getting too involved with that. And you're actually wanting to see that there's nothing moving underneath your jaw at all as you're doing that. So for instance, we could just make sure that we're doing that same thing on an like you're saying rung, like rung. So just say rung and hold the ng at the end, like rung. And what you're gonna feel for is just to make sure that your tongue isn't getting too involved. So an is bad. There's no tension at all. And let's do that on an octave and a half scale. So it would be kind of like an I can't play it and sing it at the same time, so I want you to feel underneath your chin as we do it. You don't want to feel anything. Ladies, let's do the same thing here. And again, on none of those are you feeling, it's just, you practice that a little bit every day. Oh my God, you will be so amazed at how much better your voice sounds. Great job, guys. So now that you're feeling for any tongue tension down here, you did it on an exercise, which is very neutral. There's nothing really going on back there. You're just, your soft palate is lowered, so everything's going into your nose. However, your tongue is just totally chill. But let's try an exercise that actually uses a little bit more tongue action. And again, try to keep everything relaxed under here. So we're just gonna do that on an octave and a half, gee, 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 like you're saying the word geese. So like a gee, 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 gee. And again, try to keep everything feeling super relaxed under here. You'll probably feel a little bit of a push from that muscle under your tongue on each of the G's, but you want to make sure that by the time you get to each of the E's, that everything is relaxed. In general, you don't want to feel a lot of gee, gee, gee. You don't want to feel it frozen into place. You want to feel it pretty bouncy and loose, like a gee, 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 gee. Guys, let's start here. Gee, 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 gee. No tension. Gee, 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 gee. One more. Great job. Ladies, let's do the same thing here. And notice for any tension that you feel under there. Again, it should just feel really, really mushy and soft. There shouldn't be any of that strain or tension involved in there. At this point, you may have found that when you're feeling underneath here and you're trying to keep everything relaxed, it's really easy to flip into your falsetto. Like for instance, like if I'm feeling underneath here and there's no tension at all, I may feel like and it's like, well, I didn't feel any tension, so everything turned out great. Well, yeah, but you also didn't sing in your mixed voice. You also didn't transition up to the top part of your voice with a full sound. Instead, what I want to help you do now is I want to help you learn how to reclaim that mixed voice while still keeping everything relaxed. So in this particular case, I'm going to show you an exercise that uses a really funny sound, but still keeps everything in the larynx really relaxed and isolated to just the vocal cords on the inside. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an octave repeat scale on no, but I want you to sing the no with a little bit of cry, like you're real sad or kind of sobby, kind of like a no, 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 no. Guys, join me here. No, 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 no. And what that cry sound is going to do, it's going to keep everything from getting super tight. So no, no, no. No, 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 no. Let's do that here. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Ladies, let's do the same thing right here. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Great job. Now that you guys have found what it's like to sing with a little bit of that cry feeling, that no, 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 that O vowel sometimes causes a little bit of strain on its own, and it just really depends on the singer. So I want to make sure to give you another exercise that is going to for sure relax a little bit of that tension. So we're going to start in the same place, but we're just going to change that O vowel to an So we're going to sing na like nut, like N-U-T, nut, nut, nut. So in my voice, starting with the guys, we can be right here. Na, 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 na. Still a little sad. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Ladies, let's do the same thing right here. Na, 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 na. Really sad. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Great job. Another common place that you'll find tension in your voice is your larynx position. And so rather than even thinking about necessarily like what's going on inside of the voice box, think about what's going on the outside of the voice box. If my voice box is super high, then I'm going to sound really tight and really strainy. Alternatively, if my voice box is too low, I'm pushing everything down and I'm engaging a lot of muscles that, again, aren't super good at helping me sing better. Instead, I'm actually manipulating my voice so that it's too far down, and that's a problem as well. You also want to make sure that there's not too much tension in your neck. If you see some of these strap muscles, like the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid muscle, getting engaged whenever I'm trying to sing something, that's not what you want. You also will see that some people carry a little bit of tension in their shoulders, like they'll sing like this, or they're slouching too much. That's going to impact the sound. Additionally, what your chest is doing, too far forward, too far back. And you could even look at what the abs are doing. You even can feel what your abs are doing as you're singing. If I'm clenching my abs super tight as I sing in you're going to be able to hear that that's tense versus an where everything's relaxed. Now that we've looked at our posture and our breathing, it's time to actually start looking at some vocal exercises that are going to help you sing without tension. Because so far we've been kind of discussing things that are outside but still impacting the inside of the voice. However, it's always very easy sometimes to sing with too much chest voice or too much head voice or something like that. That's going to add a little bit more tension to the inside of your voice. For our last vocal exercise, and what I mean by vocal is just like the last scale that I'm going to have you sing along with right now, I wanted to look at something very specific to what your larynx is doing. And at a certain point, you may feel that even though you can get that na 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 na, that your larynx is still a little bit high. And again, the larynx is a big source of tension for a lot of singers. So learning how to relax that can be super, super helpful. For that reason, I'm going to show you one of my favorite exercises for releasing a little bit of the laryngeal tension. In this particular case, we're going to pretend that we're kind of yawning. So if you pretend to yawn, you can try this right now with me. So it's like, you'll notice that my larynx drops a lot. And that's because as your larynx drops, your vocal cords open, allowing in a maximum amount of air for when you're yawning. But instead of actually yawning, right now what I want you to do is I want you to pretend to yawn on an exercise. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our 1.5 octave trusty scale. We're gonna do that on mum, 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 like you're saying the word mother, but kind of yawny. And what you can do is, as we sing this, you can actually gently feel your larynx between your thumb and your first finger. Do not squeeze, do not press. You're just feeling what it's doing. And as you sing the scale, try to make sure that it's staying really relaxed. So like in my voice would be kind of like a mum, 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 mum. Yeah, sure, it travels a little bit. It moves up a little bit or down a little bit. But in general, it's staying pretty still, right? Or where it's too yawny. Chances are, as you sing upwards, some of that yawny feeling is actually going to help you relax those top notes. So unfortunately, I can't feel my larynx and play with both hands at the same time. But for you right now, just go ahead and feel this and really keep it kind of yawny. So like a mum, 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 mum. Guys, mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Great job. Ladies, let's do the same thing right here. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 fantastic work, everybody. Make sure that your larynx is just staying really balanced, really relaxed as you're doing each one of those. Now, I want to show you one of my favorite tricks for eliminating vocal strain, eliminating straining when you're singing an actual song. So one thing that I see a lot of beginning singers do is they'll make a mistake in that whenever they sing up to a higher note in their voice, they'll tend to spread the vowel really wide. And as they go wider, the problem is that the larynx and some of these other neck muscles get tense. So like, let's say that I'm trying to sing like, I'm in love with the world through the eyes of a girl. It's like anytime I have to go up to that G note, it's like things start feeling really, really tight. And instead I can't help it. It just starts straining. So one of the things that I want you to try in your own singing, it doesn't matter whether you're singing that Elliott Smith song or any song, you can try this on nearly anything. What I want you to try is actually narrowing the vowel slightly. So versus of a girl, instead, think girl, like your English, and see how I've changed it from a girl to a go, where it's my lips are slightly extended and things are just a little bit more narrow. So, of a girl, and all of a sudden my voice stays together. Now, you don't necessarily want to end up singing it go that way. That would sound maybe a little too trained or a little too proper. But eventually, once you find that note without straining, then you can actually go back to the way that it's supposed to sound. Of a girl, just like I'm speaking it. And again, you can try this on anything. So your workflow is find the note that you're straining on, that you're going wide on, and actually go to a narrower vowel than the original one. So this is the original vowel, earl. And I went to earl. I'm actually going to change the earl into an earl. Of a girl, and that's actually going to help my voice focus that note so much better and eliminate all of that extra strain. The last exercise that I want to give you in terms of avoiding vocal strain is more of kind of like a mental attitude to your high notes. Odds are, whenever you're singing higher notes, you'll probably feel the temptation to and stretch up to those top notes. But rather than spreading the mouth wide, getting your neck really tense, raising your larynx and all this stuff, instead, I want you to just imagine that you're on top of the note already. So I want you to anticipate being on top of that note. So rather than a and push up to it, instead, think that you're on top of it. 9 times out of 10, just that small mental shift will really make it so much easier to be on pitch on the note for one, but also without strain. Because I'm basically singing an E and pushing that E into the F sharp. Instead I'm actually on top of the note. Guys, I hope you found all these exercises super helpful. Remember, learning to sing without straining takes a bit of time. It's not a one-size-fits-all or one-trick pony. It really takes time and effort and practice a little bit every day to get rid of that strain in your voice. But with all these exercises, I have no doubt that you can start to do that. Guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to click like, comment with the next song or the next kind of video that you want to see me do. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel. Or if you want to jump in and start improving your singing voice and sing without strain today, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. The link's in the description.